first time Amanda Ruller came to my attention was when she was doing a push-up contest against Greg from the Justin and Greg show, and she just flat out destroyed him. I think she even switched to one-arm push-ups to make it more fair for him. From Olympic weightlifting to full contact football, track and field, bobsled, and skeleton, there might not be a sport she's not contesting. And it shows. Amanda, if you take a look at her, she's ripped, big muscles. And today, she's turning that passion for sports into a career. It's not just about beating boys at push-up contests. She's built a strong following on social media. She's doing fitness and meal plans for fans, and she's become a hired gun as a social media influencer, popping up across our province for companies like SaskTel and other big-name companies who want to talk directly to her fans, to tap into her audience that she's cultivated, people who are passionate about what she's passionate about. Amanda, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me. That was such a warm introduction. Thank you.
Well, I try to do a really fair, get people excited for what you're doing.
I'm excited.
Before we get too deep into talking about sports and weightlifting and all that stuff, we've got beer.
We've got beer today. What do we got today?
We have a beer called Dank. It's by 21st Street Brewing.
Okay.
And I believe they launched it in celebration of the legalization of marijuana.
Okay. Well, good for them. I'm excited to try it out and see what I think. I'm not a huge connoisseur of beer. For example, I wouldn't know what to tell you if it's good or not. So don't listen to me, guys. I'm going to tell you what I think, but totally disregard it.
Cheers.
Cheers.
So just some fun little facts. It includes toasted hemp seeds.
Okay.
No actual THC. You're not going to get buzzed off this in the way that you might off smoking marijuana. But yeah, toasted hemp seeds.
You know what? I would actually drink this.
Yeah.
And I don't drink that often just because I'm always in training. So whenever I do drink beer, I want something that's just hearty, full of carbohydrates, because I need to recover. And what's the best way to recover is with a beer, right? So me just tasting this, it's my style. Like, I would actually drink this for real.
You like a bigger, more aggressive flavor?
Yeah, a bigger, more aggressive flavor, because that's who I am. I'm a bigger, more aggressive type of person. That's my personality. So I feel like this matches me as a human being. I'm not really into like fruity beers, you know.
Alka-Pops?
Yeah, the apple or grapefruit. This is my jam. This is what I would love to drink.
Some people might actually say that if your beer has an unintentional apple flavor,
okay,
that's not what you want. Like if you're tasting apple and they didn't intentionally say this is an apple beer,
this is an apple beer,
you should just pour it out.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, what better podcast than a podcast you can drink beer on? What? I've never done this. Out of the hundreds of podcasts people invited me to come be a part of, I've never had beer on a podcast, so cheers to that.
Cheers.
Cheers.
I believe it's our secret sauce. Nobody's turned me down for an interview yet. You get to come drink beer with me.
Next, you should ask Tom Brady if he wants to come. Yeah.
Yeah.
He probably won't turn you down if there's a beer.
Well, is he locked into a sponsorship with a big brewery?
I don't know. You'll have to ask.
So what I'm getting out of this is big grapefruit. Lots of resin. It's kind of like got that earthy dirt tone, like a West Coast style old school IPA. Mm-hmm. If you ever remember like eating peas in your mom's garden, maybe got a couple little drops of dirt on your tongue while you're eating peas because you didn't wash them off.
Okay.
That's reminiscent of this. It's like a little earthy.
The more you describe it, the more I can really taste it. The more I can feel like the grapefruit now and kind of the earthy dirt tone. It makes for a great combination, I think. What do you think?
It's classic. This is a classic traditional IPA. I can appreciate everything about it. I'm not an IPA guy, but I can still see what the brewer was trying to do.
Yeah. I'm going to have to keep this one in mind when I come back and order it.
They're based out of Winston's in Saskatoon, so if you're ever up in Saskatoon, go check out Winston's. 21st Street Brewery is based out of there. They're doing some crazy good beers.
Cool.
And consistently crazy good beers.
Nice. That's awesome.
And it's only 6.2% ABV.
Okay.
Yeah.
I really like it. I would suggest it to everyone listening today. Go check it out. Have a sip. You won't regret it. Yeah.
Nice. So let's switch gears a little bit. When did you kind of realize being a social media influencer was a thing? You know, you could do it.
Yeah, definitely when I started university, I was on the Cougars kind of track and field team and soccer team at the same time. And I was like, I think there's a way to market who I am to people to make them follow my journey, because I knew I was doing something different than a lot of other women within university. Some people weren't on any sports teams, and I was on a dual sports team at the time. And I was like, you know what, I'm going to start being on, Facebook was a thing at the time. So I signed up for a Facebook account and started posting about my athletics and my journey and where you could watch my races or matches. And from there, I was recruited to be on the Canadian bobsled and skeleton team. So when I moved to Calgary, the first thing they did was take us into kind of a social media meeting, and they're like, okay, there's this new thing called like Twitter and Instagram. So you're going to want to download that and make an account, because as kind of athletes, I wouldn't even say professional athletes, because even at that level, you're not considered professional unless you're being paid the big bucks. So we definitely weren't. So you're going to want to make something of yourself through sponsorships to help yourself throughout this journey.
To fund your gear and pay for accommodations and travel.
So you, like through social media as an athlete, like I don't think a lot of them realize you can get, you know, free gear, supplements, maybe someone to help fund your dream and your goal, because you are pursuing something that is kind of a thankless task. It is something that you're not being paid to do a lot of the time, unless you're a professional. I hate saying that again, but there's not a lot of women professionals as well. Like, can you think of a women's sport that gets paid besides tennis? Or
I was going to say Serena Williams.
I know. Yeah, you're going to say Serena Williams. Like, that's the first one that comes to mind. And then you start to draw a blank and you have to really think about it. So that's where the struggle comes. As a female coming into sports, what do I do? So I opened up an Instagram account, Twitter account. I had my Facebook account, and I started posting about my training, my journey, my struggles, my successes, my nutrition. And people really, really responded to that and wanted to keep following along. And along the way, people were even asking for autograph photos, which I thought was so amazing, because who am I? Who am I to offer you an autograph photo? So I started sending them out and getting more and more requests along the way. So I was hooked from the beginning.
Did you start it as a hobby, or you knew intentionally, oh, this is a sponsorship opportunity because of that meeting?
I saw it as a sponsorship opportunity right off the get-go, but I was passionate about doing it. I really loved Facebook and the reactions that I was getting from people, seeing women in sports being strong and beautiful, being able to push a 400-pound bobsled down the track, being able to race down a track 90 miles per hour head first. People don't see a lot of strong women in the field doing stuff like that. So the reactions I got from people are like, wow, like that's amazing, I want to see more. So the more and more I got into it, the more I got addicted to kind of showing people that side of myself and getting passionate about it, more or less. So more and more companies started approaching me and saying, could you do the same thing for our company? Could you come out to an event, talk about who you are? And like I started doing public speaking more and more. People started hiring me to come do that. And then, of course, supplement brands. And then people started donating to my cause so I could fund my dream.
That's cool. You talked about women in sports. And one of the themes I've kind of seen lately is how women are treated differently than men. The perception is different. I was looking at Serena Williams. She was just having a dispute with the judge. Wherever you land on it, it was a massive news story in a way that it wouldn't have been for men. Are you seeing yourself being treated differently because of gender in sport?
100%. 100%. A lot of the time, I'm being told not to be as aggressive, especially when I was in university sports, when I was running track and field. I remember if I had a bad race, I would get mad and I would like kind of freak out a bit. But why could the boys do that? And when I did the exact same reaction to losing a race, it was frowned upon, and they were like, calm down. You can't react that way. How dare you? How dare you tell me that something I put in effort to day in and day out and I get a bad result, I'm just supposed to suck it up and just, walk down the track and pretend like nothing happened? It's just like, it's making me upset right now because I remember specifically it being university that people told me to calm down, stop being myself, and start being someone I wasn't supposed to be, which was a woman that was put in your work and no matter the results, just stay quiet. I hated that. So I started going on to other sports and I had a little bit more freedom here and there. But I will tell you, I had the most freedom when I went to the United States, to be honest, because I started playing on the Legends Football League and they really wanted you to react. And that, I love being that person. I love reacting. I love being aggressive.
A little more theater?
A little bit more theater reaction. And that's just who I am, though. So I was able to show people my true colors. And it was awesome because people really fed off of it and accepted it. But still, sometimes, okay, you're being a little much. I actually just had a tryout with WWE.
Yeah.
And they asked me, why do you think you would be good for WWE? And the first thing I said, like in front of everyone on the stage, they asked me in the middle. I said, I've been in sports my entire life. And I've been the one I'm loud and I'm aggressive and I'm boisterous and I love being in front of a crowd as well as doing the sport. And I've never been in a sport that accepted that fully from me. And if I was in WWE and you let me be that person, that's why I need to be here. Sorry, that was kind of a pitch, but honestly, that's what I need to do.
Talking smack.
I'm talking smack. Like, I love that kind of stuff. And how dare anyone tell me that I can't do that, because that's just who I am. And and let a boy do that. You're not going to tell Hulk Hogan not to talk smack. You're going to tell me, like, when I'm playing football, oh, Amanda, don't talk smack. Remember, be humble, be humble. But the minute a guy goes, oh, or something like that, you're like, yeah, good job. Keep going.
Did you ever lay a girl out on the field in a tackle? Like, boom.
I was being tackled a lot.
You were being tackled?
Yeah, I was being tackled.
Were you a running back?
Yeah, I was running back, yeah.
I saw a video where you're running into the end zone with the ball, and I was like, is she a running back?
You're running back, yeah.
Did you kill someone, take the ball, and run away?
Yeah. I was playing corner for the Canadian team, and we were playing the U.S. team in the last Worlds game. And I think I got a little too aggressive because I shoved some girl. My team was like, hey. But I'm like, what? I'm just gonna shove someone because I was getting mad. So it's part of the game for me. So
over your entire athletic body of work, do you have a favorite memory that you just kind of cherish and polish and reflect on?
Yeah, for sure. I would have to say that playing for the women's Canadian football team at Worlds in BC last season was amazing. We ended up with a silver medal, and it was just the time of my life. I've never been just so happy to be part of something bigger than who I am. That's how I see sports, is like, I'm just this one person, but when you combine yourself with a whole team and you get to do something greater than just who you are, for your nation, nonetheless, that's an amazing achievement in itself.
Are people cognizant? Are they aware that there's a women's football team? Or
no.
Is it still fresh to them?
No, nobody knows. That's the thing, is like, I don't think it gets the recognition it deserves, especially women's football. But I understand, like, a lot of people wouldn't come to see the games. I get that. I'm not trying to push that on everybody, but just be aware that women are out there trying to do great things, and that's being part of football. Like, you see the Riot in Regina doing great things, playing at levels that they could play with boys or men. I just feel like this is going to be great. Like, we're going to keep striving to be great. There's going to be more women's football. We're going to keep pushing the standard. Like you're saying, women, or not you saying, but like society says women can't play football. That's the only hate I ever get, is messages from people saying, I'm too muscular, I'm gross, women should not be able to play football. And I'm just like, you know what, keep thinking that, because one day everyone's gonna be playing football and it's gonna be on TV permanently. So I'm waiting for that day.
That's cool.
For that day.
When it comes to social media, what is the one piece of content, the one video that people should check out to kind of find out about you?
To find out about me, ooh, that's such a good one. I actually cut together a really, really cool, inspirational video of me training. It had a little bit of football action, and I overlaid it, this inspirational speech that I found on YouTube like years and years and years ago. And I actually listen to it every time I line up to do a track and field race or get ready to play football, or when I was doing bobsled. I listen to it every time I compete, really. And it makes me happy to be doing what I'm doing, and it makes me passionate. It makes me like tear up a little bit because I'm just so excited to be able to do this in Canada or America or wherever I'm competing. Like, who knew that I would be able to do this when I was younger? Like, I'd always play the game of life, and I always pick the athlete. Like, I would cheat even. Like, I'm like, I want the athlete card. Like, that's all I want to be when I grow up. And for a lot of people saying you can't, I think I made it happen in any aspect of that. And like, I'm 30 years old, and I still look like I'm 20. So honestly, because it's athletics, like it's living healthy lifestyle consistently for the last 30 years.
So
go
that,
check
that
out
speech is like your Zen koan.
That's my Zen, and I'll tag you in it so you can check it out. But it's one of the videos I put on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, because it's my favorite. I got a friend to just kind of film it for me while I was training in the park, cut it together. It's my jam. And every time I watch it, I actually tear up because it makes me so happy. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you watch something, you're like watching something you do and you're like tearing up, you're like, yes, yes. Because you inspire yourself somehow.
You have that deep emotional response to something that mattered so much to you.
That's exactly it. You said that perfectly. So I have emotional response. Yeah.
What's your favorite social media memory so far? I saw you on a billboard on
Yes.
driving down Vic, and I'm like, hey, I know her. She was in the tap room having a beer.
That is my absolute favorite. Is like, I didn't know that here I am, 2018, that I would be on a billboard downtown kind of Regina, and there was one in Saskatoon for Jump.ca. They were releasing these new cases for Justine Marie Studios, and I was able to be kind of the fitness model for that, where I had it on my arm, and I was just me. No makeup artist, no hairstylist. It was me, my hair's in a ponytail, I have the case on my side, and sports bra, leggings. It was me. I think that's me in a nutshell.
And she's doing custom artwork on the cases,
Custom
right?
artwork on the cases, yes. Which is beautiful. If you ever see any of her paintings, you're just floored by the beauty that exudes from that. So when she asked me to be a part of that, I was over the moon.
Oh, the artist asked you to be a part of that.
Yes. So
That's
yeah.
cool.
It was
My
awesome.
wife has been telling me about these custom artwork cases and these paintings. She's like, I'm getting one.
You'll have to check them out. This was the very case that was on the billboard.
Yeah, that
anyone
looks
can see.
exactly like we were looking on
Yeah.
when my wife was showing me on Instagram.
Yeah. Yeah, very reminiscent. It's very Saskatchewan because she does all of her art based on kind of Saskatchewan. She gets inspired by the sunset, and that was inspiring to me to hear that, because that's the first thing you see. Whenever I leave Saskatchewan, because I travel a lot, you see the sunset as you leave for miles and miles. So you'll always remember that no matter where I travel.
It kind of calls you home.
It calls you home.
So what's next for Amanda Ruller?
Oh, what's next for me? Everyone watch out, because there's a lot of stuff coming up. I just got kind of a show on Access 7. It's called The Grind, and I'm interviewing a lot of like University Regina athletes, getting to know them a little bit more about their sport. So I interview them, and I get to work out with them. So that's coming up real quick. We just shot some episodes, so we're editing them. We're going to get them out to you guys so you can see that. Stick around, guys, because there's lots of good stuff coming up for me.
What about the Olympic?
Promise you.
What about the Olympic weightlifting?
Yes, sorry. I'm like, oh man, I've been training for that every day. It's like in the back of my mind. Olympic weightlifting for me. I actually have a competition coming up December 1st, which is the first one of the season. That I'm trying to push really, really hard. I've been getting better and better. So my ultimate goal would to be maybe push for an Olympic team down the line. Team Canada, and right now I broke the Saskatchewan record for my weight class for snatch, which was pretty cool. So you guys, I'm just going to keep pushing, and hopefully you guys see my passion and support that. Yeah, I'm pretty pumped to be a woman in sports right now. Sounds lame, but
It's not lame.
That's me.
It's interesting. Well, one of the questions that crossed my mind was, you're really putting yourself out there.
Yeah.
You're not hiding behind anything. You kind of are exposed, and you're showing off your muscles, and people could just talk right at you. And
Yes.
how do you deal with that?
I do a lot of like talking back and forth with people on Facebook, Instagram, and Snapchat's one of the biggest one that you can respond to people right away. If people take time to send me like a video message, like asking me how my day is, I will respond, because who am I to just ignore people? I think that's so hurtful to someone that's trying to, be a person in the community. Just responding to people and helping people along the way if they have fitness questions. I always do a Q&A. Like at least once a week I put like on Instagram stories, like ask me a question, and then I'll ask people back, or I'll do a live where I answer all the questions. Or I personally message people back. If it's really, really long, I'll message them back personally. So I'll respond to anything.
Amanda, I want to thank you for taking time out to speak with us on the podcast this week.
Thank you so much for having me. If anyone finds me on social media, you can find me on Instagram at Amanda Ruller. You guys can find me on my website, amandabolic.com, where I have workout programs, nutrition programs, and just some fun stuff so you guys can check out. I have some blog posts. You guys can talk to me anytime. I'm here if you have any fitness questions or just about being a big, strong girl.
Rebels, thanks for tuning in this week. If you want to find the latest news about Rebellion Brewing, be sure to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Untapped. Thank you for joining the Rebellion.